Well, majority of Kenyans knew former President Daniel Moi for his firm grip on politics, his resolute approach against political critics, and a man who loved his job. 18 years since he left office, this largely remains the memory among Kenyans who are old enough to have experienced his rule.
But there are those that knew him as the amiable father and congregant at the African Inland Church. Sam Gituku details the warm words that family and the faithful chose to remember Moi with.
When they boarded their open carriage to the Nyayo National Stadium, driving through the streets of Nairobi, they must have felt the satisfaction that their father had been accorded the highest honor for a leader of his stature. But the finality of death may have hit them, seeing the convoy take a final journey through the streets of the city. They quietly watched the thousands of Kenyans who had come to mourn a man they had known as a suave politician. For the men and women aboard this vehicle, this was their father and grandfather. Rongai MP Raymond Moi, eulogizing his father, whose middle name Toroitich means welcome home, a name given at birth in 1924. But Toroitich was not always a lucky child at home. Though he passed his entry exam and was selected to join Alliance High School, the colonial administration denied his entry, perhaps redefining his life's path.
And instead, he was enrolled at a teacher training college. On completion of his course, he was posted as a teacher at Cabernet, where he studied privately and passed his London matriculation examinations. He was promoted to the rank of P2 in 1949 after attending a brief course at Kagumo College.
It is while serving as a teacher that in 1955 he joined politics, albeit unexpectedly, and a 47-year-long political career began, culminating in a 24-year presidency.
Despite his international stature, Mzee Moi never lost touch with the ordinary people. The hallmark of his leadership was a personal commitment to uplifting the poor, the disadvantaged, and the old from the clutches of poverty, ignorance, and disease. His personal philosophy and belief in God defined his view and purpose in life.
Moi's last-born son and Baringo Senator Gideon Moi, revealing to the nation intimate details of Moi, the father, including his favorite meal.
Mzee alikuwa anapendanga nyama. And I'll remember, nakumbuka nilikuwa na nimueleza kwamba daktari, tafadhali mzee, daktari amekataa. Akaniuliza, unaona daktari hapa? Hakuna kitu alikuwa nakuja katikati yake na nyama. Hasa kwa Kikwetu tunasemanga karasta, yani mbavu.
A man who was a fan of wrestling, Gideon, told the mourners, once upon a time, Gideon narrated, he caused an accident in his father's new car, making it a wreckage. He was confused and afraid of his father's wrath. He didn't know how to report himself.
I had the cunning idea to carry a Bible in one hand as I entered his room. My father, who of course had heard of the accident, took one look at me, shook his head, and burst into laughter. And that was the end of the matter.
During his reign, President Moi was regularly covered attending church service on Sundays. Retired African Inland Church Bishop Silas Yego, a close friend of the Moi family, told of the former president's strong relationship with the Bible.
He had a friend called Barngetuny. Barngetuny used to tell Mse mina ogopa kifo. And Moi told him, Barngetuny, do you know Jesus? In Chronicles, he used to quote to us, 2 Chronicles 29, verse 15. And I read, as I said, these are his quotations. For we are all aliens and pilgrims before you, O Lord, as were our fathers. Our days on earth are as a shadow. That is Moi.
The interdenominational prayer service was led by the AIC presiding Bishop Abraham Mulwa and attended by dozens of clergy. For the family and the church, two institutions that probably knew Moi the man more than anyone else, he was simply a father, a fellow congregant, but one trait remains, that he was forgiving yet firm. Sam Gituku, Citizen TV, Nairobi.